So today, this is a video about how to make a clay cat, and it's open at the bottom, and we're using a template to make the cat. This has been bisque fired just once, and so we have the pin tool for cutting. We have a tongue depressor or a large popsicle stick for making indentations and decorations. We have the template cut. We have a scrap piece of paper for name tag. I also have a just a scrap piece of newsprint, and that's for stuffing inside the clay to keep it so it has that open form. It would end up going in here when the clay is wet. And then I have water, don't need much, and an old toothbrush for scrubbing, and the scratch to attach is what we call it here. We have a nice large slab of clay. On this slab of clay, I want to make sure that I don't waste the slab. You don't cut all the way through, you actually just draw around it. You'll notice I'm holding it back here on the end because I don't want to dig deep. You have much more control if you draw it first and then cut it. So when you cut slab, you always want to reach and pull toward yourself. You don't want to push. Get that out of the way, scoot this over here. You can rotate your piece to make it more manageable so you can get in there. So you'll notice I don't go up and then down. I reach to the center and pull out for both times, and I can move the clay around as I need to get the best angle, because I am very dominantly right-handed. So you can see that the walls are nice and flat here, and trace around it. So we have our two cat slabs. I want my wadded up piece of paper to go here, and I'm going to put this slab on top. And that wadded up piece of paper might be a little high, a little much. Looks like they may work well. So here's what I'm going to do. You always want to test it out before you start attaching things. So now we'll put that to the side, and I'm going to go around and I'm going to press with my finger. Take my toothbrush, tap it on the sides so you don't get too much water, gently scrub. Now I'm going to take this paper that I wadded up and put this over the top, line it up a little bit. And I'm going to stand it up, and I'm going to pinch the sides, not too hard, just enough. And I'm opening the bottom and just gently moving the clay into the position that I want it. Okay, so now this is ready. You can use a plastic fork or an old metal fork. You press and slide and press and slide. The trick is not to press too hard because you don't want to poke holes in it. Now we need our details, which are two small eyes, a nose, and the tail, which wraps from the back to the front, so we don't need much. And of course, you know that I had all these pieces here, right? So these are wonderful. We can absolutely use these. Make them a little damp if you're trying to get them together. I wouldn't use too much water. It gets too muddy. And then I roll my coil. Okay, now that's probably long enough, but what I'm going to do is check it. So I bring my cat over here, and I'm going to put it to the back and and it will wrap around to the front and kind of curl. Oh, that's plenty of tail. And I want the end of the tail to kind of come to a point and get you know how a cat's tail gets a little smaller on the end, make a little tip. So I take my 2 fingers and I'm going to roll the end of this coil right here on the end, just a little bit, not too much, to make it appear a little bit smaller. And I know that I'm going to attach, here is the tail. And I want that mud. And now I attach the tail. And you can lay it down, but you don't want to crush. You want to make sure that you've got your hand supporting it. If you're going to do it that way, you can do it standing up either way. So I want something that's kind of triangle shaped. I look for a piece that already has a triangle on it. As you can see, this scrap that I have, it already has a triangle on it. So I can just take the best triangle side that I want to use. So I'm going to put that right here. Oh, that's good. Look at that. Look how that's going to look. That's going to do just fine. So that'll be the cat nose. I'm not going to stick it on yet because we don't have the eyes and I want to make sure my size is right. I'm going to use part of this tail. And the best way to get 2 shapes the same size is to take a big shape and roll it into kind of a fat little short hot dog sausage that's even, and then cut that in half, rather than trying to make one eye and stick it on and then make another eye and stick it on, because they will never match. So if you start like this, you can cut your piece into 2 fairly equal pieces. Notice I'm not sticking it on yet because I'm still working with this one. I want to make sure it fits. That's pretty good. Looks like this one might be a little bit bigger, but not enough to matter. I'm not going to worry about it. And then we can use an old pencil. This works, the pencil works better than the pen tool, I think, to carve out the lines if you're doing detailed texture. Oh yeah. Okay, so I'm going to put the nose right here. That it's gone down into that triangle shape, which it has, so we're good. So now we're going to take the, on this one I'm going to try doing sort of a oval, not oval, football shape in the center. And then I'm going to draw down and curve side. And I'm going to put some little dots for whiskers. And then I'm going to draw the whiskers with my pencil. Notice I'm not digging too deep. I'm just drawing a line like this. And then I'm going to turn it this way because, as I said, dominant on the right hand. There we go. All right, so now we have our little cat with the paper inside and his tail wrapped around. And then you take, when you put it on the shelf, you've got your name tag with your cat, and you can just stick your name tag up under there when you put him on the shelf to dry. So there you go.